Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Alex. This is The Car Creative. Today, I kind of want to tell you all about the lenses that I use for automotive photography. Now today we are going to be shooting a motorcycle. I'm hanging out with my good buddy Spencer, who you may have seen in some of my past videos. He's got the TRD Tacoma off-road. If you haven't seen that, go check those videos out. Go check out his YouTube. Today he's bringing his Yamaha motorcycle. I've never done motorcycle photography, so we're just going to give it a go. But throughout that process, I'm going to show you guys every single lens that really I use on a day-to-day basis. As well, I'm going to try and take away as many of your excuses as possible. I want to try and shoot on a crop sensor camera. I've got the A6500 as well, so I'll show you some of the lenses that I use for that, so you can get into primes, and also the A7 III, the full frame camera. I'll show you what my favorite lens ever to shoot on that is, as well as kind of one of my daily drivers. So the way I figure we'll do this, I'll shoot some fun B-roll with him today. I'll shoot all the photos, and then we'll hop back into the office and kind of talk about which lenses I think are right for you or for any given shooter, and try and take away as many of your excuses as possible, because at the end of the day, I think if you have a cell phone with a camera on it, you should be able to make amazing content. So for this quick set of photos, guys, I'm using the Sony 24-105. It's got an aperture of 4 and it is optically image stabilized or whatever. So for this set of photos, it gives me the ability to shoot wide as well as go into 105 and get a bit more of the details that I want without having to move around too much. So this is my daily driver. This is everything that I use to film. I'm filming with it right now. I use it if I just want to be really versatile and move around really quick, but this is the 24-105 and I love it a lot. For this set of photos, I've got the Sony A6500. And these are some really cool cheap lenses you can get from Sigma for their E-mount. They have these little art lenses. They've got the 19mm, they've got a 30mm, and they've got a 60mm, which is essentially equivalent to having a 24, a 50, and about an 80 to an 85, because these have a crop of 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, something like that. So these primes, I'll put some of the photos on the screen as I talk about them. They're amazing little cameras to get you introduced into the primes of lenses. And because they're so good for crop sensor, you still get a really good shallow depth of field because they shoot at 2.8. And then these guys, I'm sure you've seen before. This is the Sigma 30 f1.4. If you guys have the budget to go up to the 1.4 lenses, this is going to be a beast on any of your crop sensor cameras. Really opens up the shallow depth of field for you. So they've got the, I think, a 16mm now, which will essentially be a 24mm or something like that for you, and then this 30mm, which turns into what is the equivalent of a nifty 50 for your Sony cameras. So this is an amazing lens, and I've done a ton of paid work with this. So if you're looking to get a crop sensor camera with a high quality lens, look into something like this. Alright guys, so as you can see, we were doing some dope footage under the bridge there. Had a really good time. Spencer was riding his bike. It sounds so good, and I think we caught some flames. If we did, I'll put that clip in here. Looks so sick, but the rain started coming down, so we had to come back into the bunker or his garage. Where, as you can see, he's got a super cool taco, which we've already filmed, and I've already linked that. But we're gonna do some detail work on his bike in here. He did show me this cool cleaner thing, which maybe I'll link down below because it makes his bike look really shiny. We're gonna use this ice light here, and we're gonna kind of paint over some of the details. We're gonna try and make it dark in here, and then we'll light it up. It'll be a good time.
But for some reason, stuff's working pretty awesome. So yeah, it's just a quick detailer by Guyon.
Alright guys, welcome back to my home. We got rained out. It totally sucked. I wanted to do more photos and stuff in that bridge, but obviously he's riding a motorcycle and the hail in Calgary has been crazy, so we did not want to risk it. So we came back. So we've already gone over these kind of the 19 mil, the 30 mil, and the 60 mil with these tiny lenses, super cheap, but they pack a real punch. And so I've never been one to really like pixel peep. I've always been the kind of guy that, like, if the lens works, if it looks good, if I'm not getting tons of low light noise or like mad vignetting, I'm generally happy. So if that's you, sweet. If not, feel free to watch more reviews and pixel peep and stuff. Most of these lenses come in the micro 4/3 option and like a Sony E-mount option. But now we're gonna get into what are my ultimately favorite lenses if you're shooting on a crop sensor camera, or what I shoot with the Canon series cinema cameras, which are crop sensors, and that is the Sigma 18 to 35 1.8. This glass, yes, it's heavy, but oh my gosh, like, I've used this in so many situations. I still use it almost daily on the Canon C200. It's my go-to. It gives you the full range from going from a wide to about a 50 mil, all with what is essentially a prime aperture, a 1.8. So you're getting that really shallow depth of field, as well as having that wide to medium focal plane, which I think is absolutely stunning. Now, don't forget, this is designed for crop sensor cameras. So if you own a full frame camera and you put this on here, you're gonna see a lot of vignetting from 18 probably all the way till 24 millimeter, where that vignetting is gonna go away. So just keep that in mind. I've had a few people reach out to me saying they wanna buy that, but they didn't know that it wasn't for full frame cameras. The second one here is the 50 to 100. It lives in the same family as the 18 to 35. Again, a constant aperture of 1.8, which is amazing, and it ranges all the way from 50 to 100. So essentially for crop sensor cameras, this becomes like the classic 70 to 200 with that low aperture of 1.8. So amazing, incredibly sharp images from this. I mean, the glass is just stunning. It's huge and it weighs a ton. You could like do bicep curls with this thing. Like, it's insane, but the image quality is so worth it. Now keep in mind, if you're getting something like that, you will likely need to get some form of adapter for your lens. I tend to use the Sigma MC11 adapter. I know they're expensive. At the time when my work was buying them, we had it in the budget, so we have a couple of these and they work really well. You do get a little bit of clicking from the 18 to 35, like some of the Sigma lenses on the Sony bodies if you're shooting video, so that's something to be aware of. I'm sure there's a ton of reviews out there on that stuff. The image quality looks good. The autofocus works really well from Sony to Sigma, especially with these, and there is another one like a Metabones, and I'm sure there's cheaper ones on Amazon too. So honestly guys, I started shooting with the Sony a6300, getting paid gigs with dealerships, with car work, so you can use these type of lenses. Eventually I upgraded to the better glass and started seeing better results, still using crop sensor cameras, trying to keep that noise down, but having that lower aperture really does help. But my all-time favorite, and this is when I think I noticed my car photography really get to that next level, is when I did switch to a full frame camera. So I'm not going to say that Canon or Sony or whichever brand is better. Full frame really does give you that softer but yet sharper feel, like the bokeh's smoother. It's just so much nicer. And so I'm going to tell you what my absolute favorite lens to shoot on, which is the Sigma 35mm 1.4, which is what you're looking at me on right now. So give me 1 sec. All right guys, so this beast here is the Sigma 35mm f1.4 art lens. Again, it's a heavy piece of glass, but it looks so good, and the images that I'm getting between my Sony a7 III and this lens really does stand out. It stands apart. I get questions from you guys all the time on Instagram what my setup is. Typically, I'm shooting with the a7 III and this lens, because I just find that the 35mm for car photography allows you to be wide enough if you're shooting kind of interior shots, even from the back seat. You can get up close enough to the details, and it still gives you a bit of a wide angle without distorting the car too much. So this, for me, if I had to pick one lens ever of all time to put on a full frame camera, this is gonna be the one. Now, I haven't done too much testing with other glass like Sony native glass, for example, or Canon glass. But the Sigma stuff does start out cheaper, and it does a really friggin' good job in my opinion. So I highly recommend Sigma glass if you guys are looking into it. So there you have it, guys. That is pretty well every lens that I've used throughout my automotive journey. I mean, I have used other glass throughout that time, but these are the ones that have been kind of the staples throughout the beginning of the journey through to where I am now, and what I would choose to shoot if I had the choice. So I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please smash that like button, leave a comment down below, let YouTube know that this stuff is cool if you're enjoying it, and subscribe for me if you guys like more content like this. Come check me out on Instagram so we can chat over in the DMs. You guys can see what I'm posting, and otherwise I do hope to see you in the next video. Peace.